Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, where we discuss the realest, rawest, most relevant stories and strategies behind building every corner of a blue collar business. I'm your host, Cy Kirby, and I want to help you what it took me, trial and error, and a whole lot of money to learn. The information that no one in this industry is willing to share. Whether you're under that shade tree or have your hard hat on, let's expand your toolbox. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of the Blue Collar Business Podcast. This one is a definite one I've been looking forward to. I think I say that every time, but literally I have been looking forward to this for some time. I have got the guy that is always behind the camera with me, nonstop, it seems like everywhere. We're out on the job site asking weird questions to the fellers, and we're going to be talking about a couple of things different with the man, the myth, the legend, and himself that's been paving the way in the blue-collar space, in the blue-collar marketing space. He doesn't even realize what he's doing yet, and we're going to figure that out over this conversation, and I think he's going to have some self-realizations that you guys get to join us for. But a couple of the things we're going to be talking about today is importance of building a strong online social presence for blue-collar companies nowadays, leveraging social media for that business growth, and the barriers that not only I have seen, but Will has seen. There is so many walls to climb in the cringy blockades, I guess you would say. The stigma is the word I was looking for. The stigma around the blue-collar social media space and kind of the future of what you think construction media can be. So furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, I have the man, the myth, the legend, Will Anderson.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Audience. Yeah. For sure. Before we get going too far about who Will is and where he is, where he came from, etc., and how we got started on this whole crazy chain of events, go and check out any type of blue-collar content, whether you're talking about contracts, materials. There's so many different episodes, engineers on there. Go check out bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. You'll find all our episodes on there. YouTube links, your favorite streaming platform link will also be on there. And give us a follow on whatever system you're listening. Furthermore, we have got where did Will come from? I'm going to give you a little brief history back. Back in January of 23, it was on the other end of COVID, I started this YouTube thing. I had been talking about it for a couple of years, and I didn't quite know how to enter the space. I didn't know, like I was just mentioning, there's this stigma around having a camera on the job site because of who a lot of the blue-collar workers, try to represent this I'm a badass mentality kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't really, it is carried, but it's hard to stick a camera in front of their face and produce content week after week. But you have entered in the conversation, I think, just early summer, maybe late spring. When did you actually come on?
I believe it was April,
so,
because that was when our first video was
that's after
YouTube.
Expo.
Yeah,
so
just right after that.
The whole reason I started the YouTube channel and Excavation and Utility YouTube channel was not only to help people, but I figured going to Con Expo, which is every 3 years one of the largest North American trade shows there is for the construction trade, I figured there would be plethora of content that I could, somehow consume while we were there, and it would help this YouTube channel grow. And by God, if it didn't, there's no doubt about that. But I knew after Con Expo and getting everything edited, I didn't put much time in the Con Expo videos because I'm not an editor. I'm a dirt and pipe guy, right?
Right.
So here we are, April. Your dad, we're standing there one day, and your dad mentions, hey, my son's kind of looking for something to do after high school, and basically You were chasing sports. You were chasing a few other things, but media has definitely been something you've shown interest in, and it kind of just worked out. You were there at the end of summer after high school, kind of figuring out your life, etc. And I was like, well, let me just scoop you on up then, feller.
It was actually, so you say high school. I actually did a semester and a half of college.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yes.
So I went to college for a semester and a half, and I was like, well, this isn't really, I'm not really feeling it, it wasn't something I really was passionate about, I guess you could say, but I was passionate about media. And so,
the results of college.
Yeah.
Probably nothing made you passionate about the other side of having this piece of paper that says you can do something.
Right. Yeah, no, kind of, I didn't want that desk job. Like I couldn't see myself doing that.
So many people say that, and then they end up doing a desk job that they hate the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Well, then from there, Will, from April of 23, basically started filming, and it was kind of not a gimmick, but it was a total trial to figure out if a blue-collar company could carry an audience for social marketing like YouTube. Come to find out, the results have been astounding. 25 million impressions on our YouTube channel in 20 months. We've got 20,600 subscribers as of we sit right here. Mm-hmm. So that's 20,000 subscribers in 20 months. Not only did we have the subscribers, and we had 59,600 watch hours within that time frame. That's that unheard of numbers, my guy.
Yeah.
So as we kept going through this month after month, we were kind of on this consistency game. We knew if we just kept consistently uploading, something would eventually gain some traction. And little did we know, the March Con Expo stuff finally gained some traction in late November, and subs just screamed through the roof. And one particular video, actually,
yeah,
and it's so funny, but that gave us a little bit of, I guess, credibility when we hit the 10K mark. We were like, oh my God,
like this could be
something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just from the short platform. It was, we're doing a long content form video, 10 to 15 to 20 minutes every Sunday, 3 p.m. consistently every week. And now we're doing more content through the week, shorts, live streams. There's a whole bunch of plethora of stuff that we're doing now because of the response in the audience. But if it wasn't for you coming on in that space and in that time frame and going, okay, yeah, let me see if I can try and maybe do this. I don't even know what you're asking me to do. Are you asking me to film you in a machine? Or because you had no idea about the blue collar space.
No.
Still don't. Really.
No, I'm just still learning.
Other than what you've been around with my guys,
right,
the crews, and et cetera. And so that's how Will came about, was camera in hand. We added a drone. We added some GoPros. We've got a big camera. We've got some nice lenses and some other stuff now for the big camera.
Oh, yeah.
To ensure the juicy content is flowing. But, man, take us through what you feel the importance of maybe somebody else that's sitting there that has the same opportunity, the young man coming, just figuring out college, high school, and this may be an opportunity. Does he go to somebody and say, hey, look, I want to do this. I don't really know how, but if you'll pay me a minimal wage to get started and see if there's any traction here, would you encourage that?
I think so. I think if it's something that you really wanted to do and it's your dream to make content like that, I think you should absolutely jump at every chance you get.
What do you think the response would be from most blue-collar guys and owners like myself on if you walked up to me and said, hey, man, I want to do this? Of course it's something I wanted to do, but say the guy walks up to the 62-year-old plumber.
Right, yeah.
You think he's going to
I think he might take a little bit more convincing, probably.
There you go.
You could definitely take him through the pros of what you could bring to the table, I think. Like, obviously, if he's looking to because what is the 62-year-old plumber like? Does he have a lot of marketing? Probably. I mean,
Probably
maybe minimal.
Yeah.
Online presence?
Maybe a Facebook, maybe a website.
Yeah,
if he's done
probably
it for
a
20
website.
years.
Yeah, but minimal
Very.
online presence. I think you stepping in, giving this idea of maybe a YouTube channel, maybe a couple more social medias, just of the glamour. And just like minimal, maybe you do a couple things for him. Maybe you start with a couple videos. You pay me this much, and I'll make a couple videos for you. If you like them, we can keep rolling. If not, then maybe I'll go to the next guy type of thing.
And it's so crazy because, not obviously we're kind of, I don't want to say quote unquote frontier pioneering, but literally there's not a whole lot of other YouTube channels, social marketing spaces doing the video section of marketing like we're doing. And I'm not trying to be any way, but not a lot of folks are going to sit here and have a podcast about the behind the scenes of what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like we bring our audience. Mm-hmm. And here we are. Marketing is such a huge thing, but social presence, like you said, man, Facebook, Instagram, we've seen major response off both of those.
Yeah.
But even just building a strong online social presence is not just Facebook and Instagram. In my opinion, sitting on this side of the table, I think you pick one of the platforms that you're going to chase, whether it be
like hard push.
Hard push, whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be YouTube, exactly, for the white collar folk. Mm-hmm. But like blue collar guys, I have found response, as you know, in the last 6-8 weeks. LinkedIn is a space that I can connect as a blue collar guy more with white collar executives because that's where they're at for job transitions, etc.
Totally. Yeah.
So I've learned that, and I've been bringing the same kind of marketing space that we do, man, out there, and it's had a great response. So maybe it's LinkedIn, and that's where you really want to channel your focus. But what I'm trying to get at is repurpose that content. You already have the content. So if you want to put up a YouTube channel or a YouTube video, man, it's so easy to pull 5 or 6 shorts. There's programs out there that do it for you now, and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And put it on your Instagram and put it on your LinkedIn.
Everything.
Why would you not? And repurpose that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do you feel it's going to be important moving forward in the marketing space from your perspective, sir? Because I know you're not, you got a little insight here. Will didn't never swan a shovel for us or anything like that. He came to us directly to handle this media stuff.
Yeah.
So
important as in like, it's important to have a
social media presence. Yeah.
No, I think so, definitely, because I mean, today's society, like everybody's on, right? 100%. Everybody's on. And so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be? Just because, I mean, I get it, you're in a different field type of thing, and it's not something that's very, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say like popular, but it's not everyone does it. Not a lot of people do it.
No. And
so even that, like that alone, just being one of the first people to do it, that would jumpstart you like crazy.
And as you know, I mean, me and Will have obviously shared many shorts and TikToks, etc. about, hey, look at this plumber. We saw one plumber with his wife, and they're basically teaming up and doing their own plumbing contracts. I've seen so many different. Why have I seen them? Well, it's because they're out there.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't think a lot of people, and especially talking to myself, marketing is everything when it comes to sales.
Growth.
And growth, for sure. If you want to grow, how do you expect people to find you if you're not going to put yourself out there? Now, I totally understand, and you see it probably more than anybody. Everybody thinks I'm this social butterfly with everything, and I am. That I was gifted with this gift of gab, as we know. But it's not necessarily something I love to do all the time.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of times that I don't want to talk to the camera.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of times that I just come off a really crappy phone call, but you need the clip.
Right.
And depending on what kind of content you're trying to put out there, but there's so much more into just the blue collar behind the scenes of a working environment, just the environment between the guys and the ownership. And that just like you said, for growth, man, how do you leverage your social media for business growth? Like you were just basically Instagram, Facebook, that is one area that we're chasing, but YouTube is a totally different area that we're chasing.
Right.
How do you leverage it?
Let me think about this.
So essentially what I'm trying to get at is that Instagram has a certain type of audience.
Yeah.
Facebook has a certain type of audience. LinkedIn has a certain type of audience. But how do you, as a content creator, use the same content that you're producing for this business, like you do here at SciCon every week? How do we leverage and repurpose that on so many different areas? I know how. I can tell you we leverage it because I want to use it for safety. I want to use it for when you're trying to do a $2 to $5 million to $10 million deal, you want to be able to say, hey, look, this is what we're about. Okay. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I definitely, you gotta, I don't know, it would just be good for showing the type of work you do and doing it well. If you're showing the glamour, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're showing even the stuff that isn't so much what, like if you mess up on something but you fix it, you fix a mistake and you show that, you can use that as leverage as well.
Absolutely.
Showing that you're not afraid to fix your mistakes and you can admit them, I think is pretty huge.
Business,
I think it's pretty huge. But yeah, I think the media side of that can actually show people the stuff you might not get from just visiting their website.
Or a Facebook post.
Yeah, something like that. You can actually see it through video and audio. And
not only that, you can leverage the quality of your work.
Like that's another word I was looking for. It's quality.
I mention this all the time, but it's so hard to take pride in work that 95% of our work gets buried up. Yeah. Nobody's ever going to see it again, and they don't want to see it.
Yeah,
they don't want to see the water line.
No, you don't want to see that water at the top.
You've got a water line running through a business where you got a pissed off business owner. The city's pissed off. You got an engineer that's got to redraw it. We've got all the landscaping and parking area and the curb and everything else that you got to put back to get the business back reestablished, all from a water main or an infrastructure main blowing or collapsing, etc. But I think the videography of putting a camera in front of your guys' face, and if they don't want to, get over it, because the guys that don't want the camera in front of their face probably need it more than anybody. That's not necessarily in front of their face, but on their job site.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I know a lot of guys, I read some comments. As soon as that camera would come out, I'd go home. Well, then go home, man.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough pride and quality about what you're displaying in your work environment, that you can't have a little bit of something filmed about you, man, I don't need you on my team.
Yeah. I think the last year that I've been here, the guys have kind of realized that, like, I'm not there to make you look dumb, bro. I'm going to make you look good.
That's right.
Like, that's what my goal is to make you guys look badass.
And 100%. And then there's this little bit of barrier between not just the guys, okay, but taking what we're doing out here in construction.
Yep.
Dude, just the environment suck. It's dusty.
Yeah.
It's loud. It's hot. Yeah. It's cold. Mm-hmm. It's wet. It's too dry. There's so many things that makes a challenge for cameras, makes a challenge for lenses, it makes a challenge for audio, it makes a challenge for all of that. So then going out there and then having to deal with a guy that really doesn't want to get talked to about the job. Talk about us the first couple of weeks breaking that barrier with just the guys here at SciCon.
So I have a funny, I remember one of the first times I went out, it was to job out in Pea Ridge, and Sambo, our freaking Haas dozer, dirt super, dude's a freaking legend. I love him. But I went out there. That was the first time I went alone, because the first couple times I just went with Cy, rode with Cy around. And
for safety purposes, more or less.
Sure, yeah. They didn't want some random guy like showing up like they never met. He's just got a camera, like what? But anyway, I show up to Sam, and he's just pushing dirt on this job, and I'm like, dude, you want to like come out here and like talk about this? And he was like, no, bro, it's Monday. And I was like, okay, I get it. Don't worry. But yeah, I was like, okay, don't ask Sam to talk on Mondays.
Yeah.
So I have not asked him since then.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Any other minor stories of talking with the guys? I mean, how did you get Sam to talk? Now he talks all the time.
Now he talks. I don't really know. I think that just comes with time and being around him and getting to know him.
So we were talking about the barriers. We're talking about Sam. There's language barriers there sometimes as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We have a Spanish-speaking crew. Jesus obviously speaks fluent both, but at the same time, they're some of the funnest to get on film, I think.
Oh, they're the best, man.
Yeah.
I love showing up, and they love it when I show up, too.
Yeah.
They're just hooping and hollering, man, and I love it.
They're proud. They're proud of what they do, and and they take pride in what they do, and so does our other crews for sure, but they're not as quick to jump in front of that camera as Marcos is dancing. But
yeah,
what are some ways that maybe this new content creator sitting here listening, or maybe the business owner is listening, how would you see through what we've dealt here at SciCon and how we've established our digital marketing, how would you go about breaking some of those cringy barriers of the guys don't want to talk, you don't want to catch a bunch of cussing?
Yeah.
How do you go about some of that stuff, man?
So when it comes to like asking them questions and such, I mean, you just got to do it, man. I think you go up and you got to ask, like, if I could get just a couple minutes, and then you can tell them to reassure them, because I know like they're blue collar men, right? They're talking and they talk, but you just got to say whatever you want. And if you're worried about cursing or whatever, I would edit that out in post and not worry about telling them how to talk anyway or nothing. And then the more you do it, I think the more relaxed they get. They understand where it's going. They watch the videos probably at this point, right? So they kind of know what it's going to look like, and they just get more and more comfortable as the time goes on.
I think you hit a nail on the head, is that they're so afraid of looking dumb or stupid.
Right, yeah.
Because the blue-collar man's already talked down upon and stigmatized for being dumb. And
right.
Heck, we do more math than a lot of folks do out there every day.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I'm telling you, they're all smarter than me.
Sure. It's a lot of things that we do require a lot of technical, mathematical, and those aren't the things that are fun to show.
Yeah.
But it's the glitz and the glam of
the machines
moving, of course. That helps.
Slinging shovels.
But what about that? What about that HVAC guy? What about that plumber? What about that electrician, man, who doesn't have machines and it's just people that's going to have to get more interactive? Would you say, through the success of SciCon, would you say that, even starting as small as a TikTok, but a professional sense, we have designed our marketing platform that like I was talking about, we designed everything around YouTube, because YouTube is where our primary focus has been for almost 2 years now. Yeah. We have tailored our videos, we've tailored our shorts, we've tailored our posts, everything is around YouTube, but then there's this tree that follows below it that still encapsulates Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, but they all need a separate little piece because there's different audiences on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
You can break up from this large video aspect, and maybe, picture's big too. You're not just out there doing videos, but you're grabbing pictures of them in their own setting of and displaying what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, and writing posts and blogs about that. That is, you know, they just need to be celebrated more, you know.
Absolutely,
what I mean?
man.
And what you're doing is, you know, we're not only putting a camera in front of their face to improve quality. We're not just worried about quality. We're hiring applicants off of YouTube. There's always the safety requirements and the display of how we run a job and project manage a job, etc. I want people to be able to view into that before I have them sign a contract. And it's hard to have your cake and eat it too. Basically have your cake in front of you a lot of times to get your project done. But I want you to be able to scoop in the middle of that cake and actually see what's in that cake before you sign up for couple years, a year, a couple months, or whatever it may be of running that water line, the sewer line, pushing the dirt, etc. And so through this, man, we have built a behind-the-scenes image of truly what happens here. The phone calls, dude.
We film everything, man. Like
it's crazy.
Mostly everything.
Yeah.
And we don't sugarcoat a lot of things. We've had a couple of videos where we even point out our mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I would think about when you're making content.
I think if you build it too glitz and glammy, I don't think anybody will take you serious, because anybody that's in the entrepreneurial space knows that mistakes and the bad is 90% of the time.
In the blue collar world knows that that's the case.
Everybody's calling me. They're loving me today. I'm telling you, bud.
Like, when's the last time you were on a job site and it went 100% perfect?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, we were just filming a little video on a gas line. Not even 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
100-foot little sewer line. This is 100 feet in my world is like writing 2 sentences in a writer's world. It is nothing. Mm-hmm. It should be a 1 to 2 day job, and we had to pour a manhole on there as well. But where we were going to pour our manhole, you were standing there as they uncovered this 4-inch unmarked high-pressure gas main.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. Just this tiny little job. Doesn't pay crazy like, but it's something we can get in, get out. But to document how we handled that process and who we talked to, and there's so many guys that probably run into the same scenario, but their project's going to hit a stop because they don't even know who to call. Yeah. And the whole design of what we're doing with this digital marketing is not to glamorify. I say that wrong word every time. Glamify.
Yeah, there you go.
Glamorize and glamify together. I do those two. It's such a conundrum, or what's the 2-word sandwich word? I don't know. That's why I'm a blue collar guy. But
yeah,
what I'm getting at is to be able to put that on display for everybody to see, and to see how these projects actually run and the things we run into, and hopefully help somebody along the way. Mm-hmm. Man, that's the whole reason we started this YouTube thing. Is I'm a 32, 33-year-old business owner next month, and I had nobody that talked about the actual realism. Don't get me wrong, I had a few mentors in this space. Everybody has a few people they can lean on, but there's no exterior source that I could lean on or look. Trust me, I looked hard. Yeah. And to find real value out of something in the digital marketing space was almost non-existent. So here we are. Now we're 21 months in.
Yeah.
And we're doing the daggum thing.
We're doing it, and it's fun.
It is so much fun.
It's so cool.
It takes a lot of time from me that I didn't realize. I will tell you that. But not in a hour, 2 hour, 4 hour setting. It's the 15 minutes clip here. I'm already on the job. Let's meet up. I'm so ready to be on to the next task. when Will's like, hey, stop and talk about this task for 2 seconds, bro. Like, what just happened? How does that make you feel? It's like having a therapist in the freaking truck. It's good for me, though.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I can help.
So don't forget, guys, obviously we're not talking about too far in depth for a blue-collar worker today. This is a definite different type of topic with the construction media, blue-collar media working space, right? But don't forget, if you guys are liking some of this, hit bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com in the link below and hit us with a follow or like on whatever platform you may be listening on to. But furthermore, dude, we've done the cool stuff in the last 20 months.
Yeah.
Give us an idea, just in the stuff and the opportunities that you've come across in the first 20 months, bro. What do you think the future of this holds?
Man.
For everyone, not just us, but I mean, literally, let's talk about us for a second. What's the future going to look like for us if we keep doing this construction media thing? But for everybody, where's it going?
I can see it not only like I don't know, this is what comes to mind.
Okay.
For me. If you're pushing stuff to YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, and you get far enough along to where you can grab another source of income, that's something to look forward to, I think, for sure. On that aspect of things, like, that's cool. But at the same time, when you're using it for marketing as well, that's just like, if you can organize your videos properly, which is what we're kind of working on, and you can send that to people, big jobs, you want more jobs, you want these really cool jobs that you might want to be a part of, like, you have an extra, like, almost ace up your sleeve. Like, dude, you can look at our work and see what we're about. And I don't know, I think you could just take that to another level. Like, the growth, I think, from this could be exponential,
You're not wrong, sir. I'm not wrong whatsoever. I think the future is completely unknown because there's no past.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's nothing to judge it against. I think you're absolutely on the right track, that it is crucial and essential to a next generation owner, somebody that didn't have dad that did it before. He did HVAC company for 20 years. If you're trying to grassroots this thing like I did it 10 years ago, 10 years ago, man, it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
You have to have some type of edge. And guess what? YouTube's free.
It is, man.
It's free.
It's free. They let you put it on there. You can upload 10 videos a day.
And I need you guys to understand that videos going onto the internet isn't just about the views you get in the first week or two, which can be very, very hard for us.
Right.
Especially results-driven folks like myself that want to see the results, and I want to see it takes time. It's a major investment. It's 20 years.
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
20 months.
20 months of investment, and some other channels have been doing this 3-4 years and never hit monetization status.
Right.
So now we are starting to see that ad revenue, but I think it's because of the consistency we've got to where we're at. But what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is that you're buying, you don't have to buy it, but you're placing large videos as minor pieces of digital real estate out there that somebody can click on and go to and view at any time for the remainder of that account being up. Mm-hmm. That could be 30 years from now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's there forever.
It is a passive income, but it is an investment from the business owner standpoint, because you have to invest in the gear. Mm-hmm. Most of the time when you're trying to kind of grassroots this thing and you find a guy that's interested in, you're going to have to provide the gear. You're going to have to provide everything coming to the table. But at the same time, are you building a company or are you just hiring a subcontractor to come in and do this? Because if you hire a subcontractor to come in and do this, they're not going to buy into your vision. Will has bought into the vision of what I'm trying to do here at SciCon because he's a part of SciCon. And I think that is such, people call me crazy for having you on staff.
Oh, yeah.
Completely crazy.
Yeah,
they're like, what are you doing with a camera? What's this guy doing? This guy hasn't been outside long.
Anytime we meet one of your subcontractors or whatever, and we walk out of the truck with my huge lens, and they're just like, well, what is this? What is this guy doing?
But the response we've had is like, man, I watch YouTube every night. You guys have a YouTube channel?
Exactly.
It's never YouTube. Yeah. You guys, what? You guys are putting videos out there for.
I watch YouTube all the time.
I'm literally, that's all I watch in the evening is YouTube. Yeah. So I'll check you guys out, man. This is so awesome. And the response is always welcome. Don't get me wrong. You've got the haters.
Oh, yeah. That's in everything you do.
There's not a single space and not a single environment that you can walk into that majority's not gonna hate on you nowadays because, number one, they're jealous. They haven't put in the work. Number two, well, they want what you have. Again, a little bit of sense of jealousy. But it is absolutely obtainable. I'm a dirt and pipe guy. Just want that to sink in for everybody here. I'm a dirt and pipe guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't belong sitting here behind this microphone talking with the folks I've had a privilege of talking with. Do people really want to hear what I have to say 9 years into this? And
I think so.
It's this imposter syndrome that you always face, like you kind of faced coming in here because you're behind the camera. Here you are. I'm interjecting you in front of the lens now.
It's different.
It's majorly different. You have to carry this... carry the conversation, and not only do you have to carry the conversation, you have to bring value to the conversation. Like, people have to, but literally to your point earlier, my guy, is that you're getting to show them the work you've already done. And it's not about work you can do in the blue-collar world. It's work that you can document you've done.
Yeah.
And that is a huge thing that a lot of young entrepreneurs in the blue-collar space don't understand. It's not about how fast you can get through a project. Doing the job is the easiest part. But normally, if you can capture some of you actually doing the work, it will go so far for you in the marketing space. Throw a little ad lib, nothing difficult. Just, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm attacking the job. People will comment on there. The haters will comment on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's folks that will love what you're doing.
Traction is traction.
Traction is traction, right. Brother, I know this was definitely a different episode, and I ask everybody that comes on the podcast this same question, and it's cool the answers that we've heard so far, but what's a takeaway as you've seen blue-collar guys in and out every day, whether you're seeing new subcontractors, whether you're seeing our guys, what's the takeaway that you see from the outside lens, not really being one of us, been in the trenches, etc., self-proclaimed, but what I'm getting at is, what if a guy is sitting there just absolutely sick and tired of being stuck in the mud, whether that's literal sense in the mud or mentally stuck in the mud of doing the same thing. I got to get up and go do the same job. Whether it's a different location, I got to run the same wire. I got to punch the same nail. I got to lay the same line. That guy, how does he get out of that situation? And how it doesn't have to be anything major, but the things that you have seen in the changes in morale and personalities here. Any tips you can give for a blue-collar guy like that?
I think I'll try to kind of relate this question to what I do, because I'm not going to sit here and try to tell the blue-collar worker that I know how to get him out of the mud, because I'm not in the mud with him.
Respectively.
So, but I have seen, we've been through some times this year, for sure.
Roller coaster, my guy.
Oh, yeah, but it's been so cool. I think that, I don't know, with getting, you could kind of relate this back to the barriers that we were facing. and they weren't really sure if it was gonna stick, you know, when we were first getting out there, but I just kind of, I think getting after it, chasing opportunity, I think is a good way to, even if it's, I don't know, if your boss sometimes brings in or someday brings in a camera guy and you need to show, I don't know how to put this. I think your boss brings in a camera guy and you're not really sure how to feel about it, but there's opportunity there. You can somehow use to your advantage. It's something different, you know, because you keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Right.
It's something different. It's something to maybe you do see it taking pride. You got a different source of pride because your work is finally getting shown, right? But yeah, I don't have a super great answer for that question.
That's a fantastic answer, but like the same guy that's been doing this 10, 15 years, camera shows up, there's opportunity there. Strike on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. I know it's new and it's different, but gotta adapt sometimes, you know? I think that's huge.
The digital marketing space, the videography, start tomorrow, guys. There's no reason you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't think you've got to make it some special thing. There's YouTube channels out there. I would say brand it. If you want to necessarily show your professionalism and that sort of sense, I would definitely bring strategy to the YouTube channel or your marketing or your digital marketing, because we went how many months there we were just kind of throwing everything to the wall to see what stuck. And now we've brought in a little bit more strategy, scheduling, meetings, planning. Like we know what we're filming for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
What's this? What's that? Dozer, you know, there has to be strategy. And I know some of you business owners, and especially blue collar guys, are sitting there like, dude, when do I have time for this crap? But sales and marketing is everything, and marketing drives sales. And if marketing makes the sale easy, I need everybody to understand that, is that if you have something to display in the marketing sense to sell what you're trying to sell, it's easy. And YouTube's free. Social media is free.
Takes a little investment with the equipment, but you could even start on your phone, though.
That's what I did.
You know, like yeah. I mean, it's all it takes, and then you get a little bit of traction. You want to make an investment. You like doing it. You find out that you do have a little bit of time to spare. I mean,
or an audience like
why not, right?
And actually wants us to keep going and stays active and etc. And as we're building that, so man, this was probably a shorter episode for you guys, but we'll be back on this. Sorry, it's no pun intended, but he'll be back on the channel for sure. I may have him jump in here for another episode coming up that I have in mind. But thank you guys so much. I really hope you have found some value in the conversation between me and Will of talking about why we've done what we've done and why Will came on, when he came on. And I know there's going to be plenty more talk about this conversation because what we're doing in our space is so different.
Yeah.
Please, guys, send us some questions at bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. There's a contact us. Ask us some questions. I'd love to get some of your questions answered, so be sure to get those in. But I hope you guys have had an understanding of how important digital marketing can be for what you're doing moving forward, whether it be a podcast, whether it be any sort of putting yourself out there. You have to market yourself. Nobody's going to see how hard you work unless you do. The blue collar man, be willing to try it. That would be my last takeaway. Be willing to try it.
The opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Absolutely. And it's all free. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. You either got to do it and invest your time, or you got to pay somebody to invest the time, etc. I would say on the other side of this, now that you've been full-time almost a year and a half, almost a year and a half.
Yeah. Just, not even that.
I would
Just about
say,
a year probably.
yeah, I would say, well, it's August, a year and a half. You started last April. So I would say a guy that has been, I would definitely find somebody to bring in to help you strat and plan what you're going to do, whether they have zero experience but have all the drive in the world. That's usually the candidates I like taking. So, guys, until next time, I hope you found value in this some way, somehow. But be safe, be kind, be humble. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with the fellers, check out our website to send us any questions and comments about your experience in the blue-collar business. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have. Till next time, guys.